Hi, my name is Dr. Sam Miles. I'm the Subject Coordinator for the BSc Applied Accounting, Oxford Brookes University. In this resubmission video, we will look at fails on the skills and learning statement, which is criteria 8 and 9. Criteria 8 is self-reflection, and there's 4 reasons a fail grade may be awarded. First of all, if your skills and learning statement did not address both questions, or you had an overemphasis on one question. There are 2 questions, so please don't forget that, and aim for 1,000 words for each. In answering question 1, which is how you've developed personally and professionally as a result of undertaking the research and analysis project, we would like you to consider what new skills you acquired and how you developed them, and the challenges you faced and how you overcame them. When you're discussing this, think about your strengths and your weaknesses in approaching those skills and those challenges. The second question, how will the experience of the research and analysis project help you in the future? We would like you to consider how this experience has made you more employable and capable. Think about skills and how you might use those in your future career. And also how it might influence your future plans in the short and longer term, whether that's through further education or through a career path. The second reason why someone may fail self-reflection is because there's an emphasis on description of events with little evaluation of self-development. This, I think, relates back to the old skills and learning statement where you had to describe and cover your 3 mentor meetings. Please do not do that. There's no requirement to do that anymore. Instead, focus on what went well, what you learnt, how you can improve, what you would do differently if repeating the process. The third reason is if there's little discussion of your own strengths and weaknesses or the challenges faced and your approaches used to overcome them. It's very easy to identify one's strengths, but it takes a lot of self-reflection to identify your weaknesses. So be specific. Don't just say you faced them. Tell us what those weaknesses were. Also, with the challenges, what the specific challenges you faced were and how did you overcome them? Were they insurmountable weaknesses? Or did you have some kind of strategy or a learning plan where you upskilled to overcome those challenges? And finally, you may have been identified as having unacceptable academic practice as templates being used or sections copied from another student or an online source. So please do not use a template for any aspect of your submission. Do not accept templates from your mentor or copy another student. We are interested in your experience and your reflection. You can't really go wrong if you're just honest and reflect on what you've done. And that's got to be different from what anyone else has reflected on. So it's your responsibility not to use a template or copy from another student. Turning our attention to communication skills, the 9 criteria, there are 6 reasons a fail grade may be awarded. First of all, the copy of the presentation is omitted. Well, you can't pass it if you don't submit it, so make sure you do. Secondly, the presentation does not summarise your findings, analysis and conclusions. This is the most common reason for a fail on the presentation. Your slides must focus on the findings, not the process. Over 3/4 of your slides should focus on your findings and conclusions. Include bullet points of key takeouts from the analysis. Do not include a description of the results. The graphs and the diagrams cover that. If presenting ratios, include a narrative to explain how and why the results occurred. Do not just repeat what the audience can see from the graph, i.e. what has happened. It's fundamental, really important, that you tailor your presentation to the topic. So for topic 8, it's concerned with challenges and managerial responses, so include separate slides on both of those. Likewise for topics 4 and 5, you must highlight the drivers of the poor or the exceptional performance. And it's similar throughout all of the other topics. So read the topic title clearly and think about what you need to include in your presentation. Do not include basic pictures of business models. Show how they've been applied and evaluated to the models to address the research aims. And make sure you include a full comparator analysis. The third reason is that you have failed to include graphs, or your graphs are unclear or incorrect or inconsistent with the findings. So it's compulsory. Regardless of topic, you must include graphs, but take care, make sure they're accurate and correctly labelled. Make sure your graphs are clear. Sometimes students try to be really clever and have overly complex graphs, and they may look very professional, but actually they're very difficult to read and they detract from the understanding of the data you're trying to portray. And if you are benchmarking, make sure your graphs include the comparator data. Fourthly, the presentation is poorly structured or the content is irrelevant to the findings. So make sure that your presentation is logical. Start with a full topic title. Okay, if the full topic title includes the challenges and the managerial responses, we want to see that. If the full topic title includes exceptional performance, we want to see that. Not just an evaluation of the performance of a company. Include the aims of the research. Do you need a slide on the justification or the challenges or the ethical malpractices and so forth? Present the business analysis first. That is logical. Then the financial analysis. If benchmarking, integrate this with the case company's results. Conclusions are compulsory, recommendations are not. There is also no need to include many slides on the background, methods, information sources, ethics, etc. As I've mentioned before, over 3/4 of your slides should be on the findings and conclusions. The fifth reason is that your presentation overruns, or it's too long or too wordy. Bullet points should be used for key takeouts. Brief enough to get the point across, but sufficiently detailed to be self-explanatory. Do not cut and paste from your research and analysis project. Use diagrams, pictures and graphs to make it more interesting, because at the end of the day it's visual aid. And use a large font size. This font size is 28. Anything smaller than 26 is difficult to read for an audience. And keep your slides to under 20. Generally, it's very difficult to present one slide in 1 minute. So if you've got 15 minutes, you really should be aiming for about 15 slides. And finally, we would fail a student if we believe that unacceptable academic practice has occurred because of copying or templating. So do not use template for any aspect of your submission. Don't accept a template from your mentor. It's your responsibility not to use a template. And the use of a template will result in a referral to an academic conduct officer. I hope you found this short video useful.